How exciting. Right, okay, here we go. Kinstretch Assessment, take 1, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. I have a session here, but before we get stuck into that, and I will go through briefly the lesson plan for you, I just want to go through a couple of do's and don'ts. Some of you have been here before, some of you are regulars, but it's always good for you to hear this kind of stuff. So, absolute must is no pain, okay? Discomfort, fine. Pain is a tricky subject because it means a lot of things to a lot of different people, or different things to a lot of people. But we're specifically talking about closing joint angle pain. So I'll pick 2 here. Neck, when we do our neck cars, if I lean to the right here and I feel pain on this side, pinching, don't push into that. That's bad, okay? What we want you to do is either come away from that and maybe you've gone too deep, or just completely miss it out and join the circle elsewhere. If I was doing something like internal rotation of the hip, okay, and I rotate here and I get that block or that pinching again, and it's genuine pain, that would be a point of saying, let's stop that and then either adjust to the lateralizations that I can give you, all right? I actually, having worked with lots of you before, nobody has come in the feedback and said that. So I'm not expecting that today, but we have to treat the body as it is on the day. Okay, how do you know about closing angle joint pain? The easiest way I can describe it is you'll know because it will be a hard stop and it will be pain. It will be, it's not like what we've said, discomfort or the pails and rails. It's stub your toe and it should be very clear that you shouldn't be going there. Okay, so that's the first one. As always, we will start with the cars. Okay, I'm going to do full body cars today. It's a full body session. I want you to do them at your own pace. Obviously, you are welcome to follow along with me, okay? But then I may go into a couple of teaching points as I often do, and I'm confident for you guys to just carry on at your own pace and listen to perhaps the teaching tips that I might be talking about, compensations, etc. So just keep going, and then when we move, we can move on together, all right? So you don't have to go at my pace. As always, I think it's just a better option to listen first, then watch me do the demo. So again, if you are in 90-90 and I'm talking you through in this base position, if I'm talking you through a position and really what I want you to do is just relax into there, enjoy a passive stretch, focus on big breaths in and big breaths out, see if you can relax into new space, okay? Time spent there and then the active work is not wasted time. Okay, so don't preempt what I'm going to try and do, just enjoy a little bit of relaxing time and just try and get connected with the intention of the exercise. In this case, it would be here, okay? I've come up with a little thing here that says sensation is more important than force. So when we're into a particular position, really, I think I have found this particularly amongst the men that I train, they want to go hard and they want to go fast straight away. Okay, it's not exclusively men, I just say that so I'm trying to remember. Kind of shit doesn't fly anymore. But there is value between between numbers between 0 and 100. So if you find a tension that makes sense and it's giving you a lot of feedback and you really are there, stay there. Even though we will dial up to what's called your safe tension, your safe maximum tension in the pails and rails, you don't need to go. If you find something of interest, stay there and explore it, okay? This one session is not going to solve anything in particular, so we want you to get them, but you do want to get a lot out of the session, okay? So sensation is more important than force. Intention is more important than position. So if I'm going to set up in a base position, I will give a couple of lateralizations, okay? But you may not look the way that I look. That is not the intention. The intention, I will say, this is internal hip rotation. This is what you should be feeling. And then we want you to modify position. First and foremost, try and get close to where we're at, 90 degrees, rotate it in. If that doesn't work, we can talk about ways to make that more comfortable for you so that you can focus in. Okay, so if you don't end up looking like me or like somebody else, this is not yoga, it's not about set position. Find something that makes sense, and that may take a little bit of time, but hopefully I'll be waffling on as I am now, and that'll give you time to sort of jimmy around, breathe, relax. Okay, I will give lateralizations as they sort of come up. That 90-90 position isn't the most comfortable in the world for everybody. It keeps being pulled in different positions. So I won't lie, most of you have been selected because you can do that position and nobody's complained in the past, but just to say, if there was some people here, we could come up with those. It's a good idea for me to give those to you because you may, even if you are comfortable there, if the intention isn't clear, maybe we can make that intention better. So it doesn't even really matter that you can all do this. We'll give the lateralizations, you can either try in your own time or today, and you might get something more out of it. Okay, well, that's it. All I would say, what I would say about the cars, for the most part, I'm going to try and stay within the camera height. But if you'd like to do your neck cars, your standing thoracic, if you'd like to do it from standing, please do. I may be low on my, in here, that might be not very comfortable for you, so you can then raise up. But I think it's probably best if they see me at least on the camera for most of this assessment, okay? I talked about very briefly, because let's get into it, a little bit of working, well I say a little bit, work in 90-90, particularly on that internal rotation. We'll be moving, transitioning from one side to the next through bear sit. Okay, bear sit you guys know as well. We'll come back to bear sit and then we'll finish in a new position, straddle, and then try and then work those shoulders just towards the end. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to take this block, I'm going to put it between my legs. If you have a block, you can do exactly the same. That creates a little bit of tension, lower body. We will start top to bottom as we mostly do. Okay, so if you're comfortable in this position, by all means start here. If you would like to be raised or even standing, stand. Hand across the chest, one hand into the abdomen. Remember with cars, we have the direction we just did, plus the movement we're going to do. There's those two things in your mind. Let's coach through it. So, chin down. Keep looking down as you move to the right. Keep looking all the way to the right as you put that ear behind the shoulder. Keep going behind the shoulder as you take that chin now towards the ceiling. And keep going towards the ceiling as you come through the midline. Looking over the shoulder again. Keep looking over the shoulder as you come down. And keep looking down as you come through. We'll go back the other way. Looking to the left. Maximally to the left as you then pop that ear behind the shoulder. Should be stretching on the open side. Take the chin now towards the top of the ceiling. Eye line follows. Ear over the opposite shoulder. Come through and finish. Now I want you to continue. All right. Keep going. Keep thinking about those two movements. I'm going to talk about a couple of compensations. So when we do these cards, we're trying to isolate movement at the joint that we're moving. Okay. Sometimes it's not going to be possible to not move other parts of your body. But the intention should be clear, and you should be sort of making a mental note of, am I cheating? Okay, am I cheating? Do I feel like I'm rotating? Am I fighting a different way? Okay, so as we come through, you may notice some compensation or a temptation to rotate through the torso. It might be flaring of the chest that you need. That's why we've got this feedback here. Last circle now. And relax. Okay, you can either take hands across your chest like this, or you can give yourself a nice big hug. Okay, if you're not comfortable, again, if I say this is, I'm trying to stay on camera here, so if this plantar flexion here is too much, then stand up, all right, that's fine. From here, we're going to take a forward fold to the upper part of our back, no more, so don't need to come all the way down here, just the top part. We'll go to the right again, keep it that easy. Rotate as much as you can to the right. Drop that right shoulder down into the right hand pocket. Take a breath. Take the elbows up towards the ceiling. And then extend through the spine. Keep the chin down there. Rotate. Left shoulder into left pocket. Forward fold and come through. Rotate to the left. Left shoulder in left pocket. Up we come here. Full extension of the spine. Through the middle. Right shoulder down, still extended. Then we can start to flex again. I'll just change my position. You guys keep going. If you want to stay with me, here we go. To the right. Right shoulder down into the pocket, elbows towards the ceiling, stay laterally flexed, start to open up now, up towards the ceiling, through the middle, left shoulder, left pocket, down and through. You complete. Things to watch out for. Am I rocking? Okay, here, that's what we want to try and avoid. Okay, or dumping into that low back. So this should be fixed, nice and braced, particularly as I come up towards the ceiling. So you shouldn't feel like you're going to fall backwards and through. Lovely stuff. My ankles are hurting, so I'm going to change up, okay? If you want to stay there, you can. If not, you can sit now in straddle position. You don't have to. Okay, arms out in front, we're going to work those shoulder blades. Perhaps it's better if I sit this way. So nice and tall. Okay, arms out in front, working our shoulder blades. We're going to punch our hands forward. So punch to wall in front of you. Keep punching now as you lift up those shoulders towards your ears. Keep lifting them up as you retract the shoulder blades down. Keep retracting as you pop them down into the back of your, well, maybe you've got some jean pockets back here. Put your shoulder blades in your pockets and then punch forward once more. Lift again, retract, down, punch. Okay, back the other way, retract, keep retracting as you lift. Keep lifting as you punch forward. Keep punching forward as you depress the shoulders and take them down towards those pockets. Last one here, lift, forward, down. Things to watch out for there. Bending at the elbow, bending at the wrist, any flexion through there if you're in this position like me, all right? But otherwise, happy with that. Okay, facing on. I'm going to stay here, but that's fine. This base position is all good. Hands out in front of you. Get stuck into these wrists now, okay? So wherever you start, we just want to be careful that we're not rotating through the forearm. So you can imagine that if you put your iPhone there, that's probably the most very prized possession of yours. We don't want to see that roll into the floor. So we're going to start open palm. We're going to get you to bring your palms towards you and stop at the end. Keep bringing them towards you as you take your little fingers in towards the middle now. Keep pulling in towards the middle as we open up those palms. Show me the palms through here, much as you can. Keep opening up as you start to thumb and lift out to the side. See a little rotation here from my forearm, not ideal. So I'm going to pull back from there. Come through and complete your circle. Pull the fist out, pull the palms towards you. Thumb and lift on the way out, so it's the outside now. Keep opening up as you come through. Little fingers in towards the middle and then back. That's quite difficult to work on both. Hand over, okay, palm towards you. Little finger in, open up, through. Keep opening up as you start to thumb that lift and then come back up and complete. Thumb the lift out to the outside, open up, pull in and across. Okay, other side, finish off, pull towards you, in towards the middle, open up, keep opening up as you start to thumb the lift on the outside, back up. Give me an idea of how hard I find that because I wasn't able to watch you at the same time, all right? But otherwise I'm rolling, I'll get this huge burn in my biceps as well, so definitely one for me to keep going. Okay, I'm going to go back onto my knees now. And we're looking at elbows. So down, arms down by the side. Open palms. We're going to bring, or bicep curl basically, up towards this palms, towards your face. But we're going to keep trying to rotate as much as you can. So you want to be able to show yourself as much of your palm as possible. Rotate the other way, palms down, and extend at the elbow. Okay. No movement forward or back. Lifting up all the way. Close the bicep as much as you can. Rotate as much as you can here. You're going to feel that hopefully in towards the elbow, okay? And then open, back up, rotate, and down, okay? One of the trickiest ones of the lot now, there's glenoid, also the shoulder joint here. Excuse me. So rib cage down. Okay, again, if you're not comfortable here, you can go to a half kneeling position or standing. Split stance is also fine. Open palm across the body. Up. Keep going across as you come up towards your face. Keep going until you feel the stop in the shoulder or that you're going to lean back. We come bicep to ear and hopefully a little bit further past. Okay. Find your stop position. Rotate that thumb towards the floor as you keep reaching back. Keep rotating as you let the shoulder now go into extension. Keep rotating through extension as you start to bring the arm forward again. Now, if you've got long monkey arms like me, then you stop on the floor. I can just close my fist and then I can clear. Okay, stay here. We're going to reach back as if I was in a relay race. Shoulder retracted. Squeeze. Hard stop there. Rotate my thumb towards the ceiling as I stretch backwards and bring through past the ear and through the middle again. Okay, from the side. Across the body. Keep going across the body as we come up towards the face, through shoulder flexion, keep rotating. Stop, that's the stop point for me. If I go any further, I start moving from my spine. Stop here, rotate the thumb towards the floor. Keep stretching back, keep rotating. As you go through extension, keep rotating and come back through. I think it's worth saying as we reach back here, hold, like you're in a relay race. Open that palm, thumb towards the ceiling, stretch through. But when you're doing these cars before a session, we can do it with a little bit more intensity. Okay, if this is a morning routine, you've just woken up, you're just trying to say hello to your body. Okay, you're just trying to grease the wheels a little bit so you can get into the kitchen making coffee. Now we're getting prepared for some work. So a little bit more intensity might be the order of the day. Okay, you certainly don't want to be ripping stuff out of the socket. Across the body, open palm, here we go. Lifting up towards the face, into shoulder flexion, hold, stop. Rotate the thumb towards the floor, keep reaching backwards. Keep rotating as you go through. Am I going to hit those flowers? No, hopefully not. All the way through, you've got the monkey arms, come down. Now you saw me lean a little bit. That's what I'm fighting against. Okay, so I'm going to try and adjust my body so that I stay forward, up and through, and then across. Last one here. Across, up, rotate. Am I getting bigger? Maybe. Lovely stuff. Okay, we'll work on to a little bit of spine work. So we'll go all fours, quadruped, bit of technical jargon there for you. Okay, so when we move our spine, a lot of joints in that spine. Okay, we want to be able to move them each individually, ideally. Okay, we call that spinal segmentation. Looks like a wave to most people. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start with a sort of neutral spine here. Okay, I'm thinking about starting this movement, sticking my bum out where my coccyx are. So it's like somebody's pulling my bum up into the air. I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to start sticking my bum out here, going into extension. Okay, slowly moving up the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Probably start to see mine moving now. At the same time I'm doing all this, I'm pushing my arms down into the floor. Not massively hard, but enough to provide some stability and some feedback from the floor. Moving up through the middle of my back now, where most people move a lot. Okay, and then I start extending, pushing my chest towards the floor, pulling back with my hands, and I then go into full extension and stretch through my chin. From here, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to tuck my chin down. That's where I'm moving first. Into flexion. Everything in this low back stays where it is. Chin down, I start pushing my upper back, or taking my chest away from the floor, taking my spine towards the ceiling. I'm rounding out, one vertebra at a time. And then finally I tuck under at the back. Imagine if I had like could have started that movement with a ball on the back of my head. Could you make the ball roll all the way down like a roller coaster and all the way back up? That kind of thing. So here we are starting full flexion. Start again from the coccyx, so we're going to start sticking out. You need to use your hips, your abs, start sticking your bum out. Upper back stays rounded, stays in flexion. Moving up the spine now, through the mid back. Taking the chest down towards the floor. Push through the floor. And through here. Last time, chin down. Push your arms into the floor. Spine up towards the ceiling now. Through the mid back. And lastly, tucking that tailbone underneath. Okay, another position, an old favourite of mine, or a new favourite of mine. Lying down on our sides, just for a little bit of hip cards, okay? Here we go. So, lying down on your side, arms out perpendicular to the body. We want up to about 90 degrees, but please be careful. If you're not comfortable there, you can move that a little bit further back. Okay, what I do want there is a little bit of space in between your abdomen and the floor. If you find that you start with that, and as you start going through your hip cars, that you then get contact with the floor, probably means that you've rolled the hips, okay? So your true hip circle now is going to be more apparent if you keep this space, all right? Don't worry if you can't, you just need to make notes of your conversations, and then your own personal practice, you can put the time in to rectify, okay? We will start by donkey kicking back with the top leg. Rib cage down, push the arms into the floor, hold. Keep kicking back as you lift up towards the ceiling. Once you get a stop, start to rotate, but don't bring the knee forwards. Once you feel that stop, start to bring that leg through, knee to elbow, and down. We start again. Donkey kick back, stop, hold, lift up towards the ceiling, keep kicking back. Pathetic for me. Rotate that foot forwards. Try not to bring the knee too far forwards at the same time. Space between you and the floor, and then you can start bringing through. 2 circles in the other direction. You can see I'm using my other hand now for a little bit of feedback. In towards the elbow. Open up, hold. Knee towards floor, foot towards ceiling, but still opening up as much as we can. So we're going to go internal rotation. This is the sticky one. Try and keep that space. Donkey kick back and back down. Quite difficult to do this, not with high intensity, but we go in, open. Keep opening as you start to internally rotate. Keep internally rotating as you start to kick back. Keep kicking back as you then lower. Thank you very much. Okay, on to the other side. 2 circles. If you want to go a bit slower, if you want to go a bit faster, that's also fine. Okay, lying down on your side. Okay, arms perpendicular to the body. Neutral. Here we go. So donkey kick back. Hold. A little bit of space between you and the floor. Lift. Start to rotate, but don't bring forward just yet. Max out the rotation, lift, and then close. Donkey kick back, hold. Lift, rotate, up, and through. Back the other way, knee towards elbow, open up. Keep opening up, and you do that by pushing the bottom leg down, rotate the knee towards the floor, foot towards the ceiling, max that out, donkey kick back. Keep donkey kicking as you lower. Switch here. In towards the elbow, open up, rotate, donkey kick back, and lower. Okay, nearly there, guys. Sitting up for me, have a little crack at these knees, okay? It can be a little tricky, mistress, these knee cars. Okay, we're going to do this classic one. If you're not comfortable with me underneath, by all means, please open up. If you can put the outside arm underneath, grab the bicep of the opposite arm, choke off the knee. For all you MMA fighters out there, rear naked choke. That's about the extent of my knowledge on that. So here we go. We're going to pull foot up towards, or pull your toes up towards your knee. What I would love to see is knee, toe, and heel all moving at the same time. If you can't see that here, definitely on my other leg, because I've got some big lump there from Osgood Slatters as a young man. Okay, so all the way up, drive the heel into the floor, connect all the way down and start to externally rotate. You're going to feel that in the back of the knee, hopefully, or in the hamstrings, possibly in the shin. Keep driving down as you then come back towards the middle and then go to internal rotation. Okay? Some of you will be thinking, well, I've never had to move my knee before. Probably you've got knee pain. Back out to the outside. Okay? If you notice any slack here, so as I've externally rotated, if I start to come back towards the middle and it's my foot that moves first and then the knee catches up, that's a compensation. That's what we're trying to avoid. So think about a kebab skewer going all the way through the heel, lift up, external rotation, back through the middle all as one piece, internal rotation, back to the middle. Okay, while we're here, we're also going to do ankles. I like to lift, so we will lift. Okay, dorsiflex here, just like we do with the neck or any others. You've got the movement that you just did, and then the direction. So pull up into dorsiflexion, toes towards your shin, externally go to the outside. Keep going to the outside now. Try not to rotate through the shin as you then start to point your toe. Keep pointing your toes as you then start to come in towards the center. Keep coming towards the center as you then start to lift up again. This way you might get some foot cramping. Keep coming towards the center then as you bring up towards you. And then we go the other way. So in towards the middle. Keep going in towards the middle as you take that through into plantar flexion, through the point, ballerina. Keep pointing as you start to evert the foot, or evert the ankle, and then come back around. Lovely stuff. Onto the knee on the other side. Now, how do I feel safe? So for me, for example, because of this hip, it's a bit sticky, I like to sit here. It enables me to focus on here. Intention is more important than position. Here we go. Heel, drive through, external rotation of the knee, back through the middle, internal rotation of the knee. Feel it through the hamstrings here or in the shin. Okay, external rotation, internal rotation. Okay, try and stop the lag time by driving the heel down towards the floor. We're going to lift up into those ankles again. So inside, keep going inside as you go through the point. Keep pointing as you then go to the outside. Keep going to the outside as you come back towards you and then through the middle. To the outside. Keep going to the outside as you point. Keep pointing as you come through the middle. Keep going through the middle as you and then back up. Good. Okay, last one. Let's see what we'll have you all off the floor here. We'll do some toe curls. So, standing up, do like having a look at the toes. When you are doing these movements, what we want to try and do is make sure that we're not rolling on the feet. You can do toe casts from out here, but once you pick a position, you just can't move from there. So we're going to go with heel, ball of the foot, underneath the little toe. So you pull out the tripod, or I do at least. And the first movement we're going to do is lift all of our toes up. Were you tempted to roll onto the outside? If you were, try to stay towards the middle. All toes down. Big toes down, little toes up. All toes down. Little toes down, big toes up. Can I just say, it's such a relief to be able to do that for my assessment. If I had done this 3 months ago, no, a bit longer than that, I wouldn't have been able to do it, and I think I would have been mugged up. All down, all up. Spread those toes as much as you can, as if you've got those toe splitters on for those people who paint their toes. Open up towards the floor, little toes down first. I could do with a bit of work there. Last time, all toes up, drive the ball of the foot down into the floor, try and spread. All toes down. Big toes down, little toes up. Don't roll into the middle. Little toes down, big toes up. All toes up, spread them, and then try and go little toes down first, and then the big. Right, okay. Did that last longer than normal? Possibly, but we continue. You're here now. Right, we're going to start. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start in the 90-90 position, okay? So 90-90 is so cool because of the shape. 90 degrees here, 90 degrees hopefully from here to here, and 90 degrees at the back. All right, perhaps a different position, slightly different position for me. Okay, so if we're focusing on the front side, okay, we're focusing on external rotation or all the tissues when we're in this position, okay, either this side or underneath. If we're on the back leg, traditionally it's internal rotation. We will be coming to that soon enough, okay? If you are not so comfortable here because of being pulled in lots of different directions, you can actually see that I'm a little bit up here. I reckon with a bit of breathing, I can jimmy myself into a decent position to get a decent stretch. For those who cannot, by all means, you can. Put something underneath that might enable you to sit there a little bit more, okay, more comfortably. You could just as easily, because we're focused on the front leg, pull in at the back, all right? But like I said, most of you have been handpicked, if for nothing else, that you could do this fairly comfortably. If you had, say, a little pain into the knee on this side, what you could do is play around with either raising the heel up slightly, maybe on a pair of socks from a small book, or maybe just raising up the big toe, leaving the heel on the floor. Sometimes that can make a difference, okay? Hopefully everybody is okay, and we'll spend a bit of time here. So we'll focus on the front leg, and we're going to do a kinetic stretch, okay? And what that means is moving in and out of a set range, okay? Using tissues to pull us in and to push us out, okay? It's going to be on the front leg. So here's the demo. What I would like you to do is hopefully to be able to close the hips here. Try and find a stretch in this case, it's my left-hand side. So hopefully all of you are left-hand side, right foot, right leg forward. We want to try and find a stretch in the back of that right ass cheek, okay? And one of the ways that we're going to be able to do that is if we think about pulling our belly button forward, scooping our bums back, okay? And perhaps spending a bit of time trying to lift the chest, belly button forward, scooping back, okay? Now, you should hopefully now have a stretch there. I want you to breathe as I then talk about this kinetic stretch. So I want to come down through my mid-range using both the regressive tissue of this angle and the progressive tissue. Okay, that just means the stuff on the inside and the stuff on the outside. But because my leg is fixed to the floor, all right, I have to orientate the rest of my body in order to affect or get the right intention here, okay? So for the whole of the next 5 reps, I want you to think my leg or your leg is glued to the floor, okay? And you are moving your body in relation to that fixed point, okay? When we come forward through the stretch, what I'd like is for the back to try and stay as straight as possible. All right, I don't want you to then show off by saying that I can get all the way down here, but you've rounded your back, okay? So what that will do for some of us, myself included, will limit how far this stretch goes, okay? For some of you, as long as you keep it in the back, you will be able to get all the way forward, and you can make things harder by having your hands up, hands here, okay? For lots of us, for me, probably going to be both hands down, and the movement is going to be quite slight, okay? Intention is more important than position. How do we get in and out? Well, we're going to use regressive tissue to pull ourselves down, okay? This is the fixed point. So we will take a breath, pack air in, and then I will tighten up all of this and try and pull my chest forward, belly button towards the end of the knee. The stretch in my ass is going to get bigger. I reach the end point after 3 to 5 seconds. And then to get out of this, rather than losing tension, I'm going to maintain tension and push that leg down and come back out. Worth going through the explanations here so that when we go to the other side, we can just get a quick shot, okay? What I will do, people will have different, well, varying ranges here. For me, I'm about here. For somebody else, you might be going all the way down. I will do a count, what I call gym seconds, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By the time I reach 1, you should be at your end range, okay? Then quick as a flash, we're going to push back, okay? That push is quite hard, it's quite intense, driving through the floor. We're not just coming back willy-nilly, okay? So facing forward. Hopefully we found that stretch. Belly button forward, scoot back. Take a big breath. brace, start to pull with all this regressive tissue here, yourself forwards. 4, 3, back straight, 2, find your end, and push, 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 down into the floor, down into the floor, down into the floor, back to the top position. That should have lit your bum cheek up, big time. Okay, we go again. Pull with this regressive tissue. It's almost like you're pulling this foot backwards, ratcheting yourself forward. 4, 3, 2, 1, drive the front leg down into the floor, push back. And again, pull, regressive tissue. 4, 3, 2, 1, push that front leg down, drive out, drive out, drive out. 2 more. Pull, 4, 3, 2, 1, push down. Last one. If you're losing connection with your abs, maybe don't go as far, but really brace here. Imagine you had like a tangerine here, okay, Satsuma, and you're trying to squash that in between. Last one, I'm going to go a little bit harder. Pull forwards, 4, 3, back straight, 2, 1, drive out and hard. Okay, stay where we are. That's done on the front leg. So you should have a nice burn there. You should have worked quite hard on that front hip. We're now going to take ourselves an interest in this area. Okay, so what I want you to do now is to start to rotate the torso, okay, and find a decent stretch in this back hip. What does a decent stretch mean here? Well, as long as it's not sharp closing angle pain, okay, you're good to go. You can lean back, okay. For some of us who have got good abduction, you might be able to sit on top. You can see for me, that's no good. I'm going to have to be here, okay. Something you can watch out for is as you rotate, if you start to see it looks like that knee is coming forward, again, I would try and not have that happen. Maybe stop, pause, and see if we can just do a series of breaths, get that rotation of the femur. If I start to push through that and it looks like I'm doing this, that's where some people start to run into some discomfort, okay? So first thing is to maybe not push so hard first up and just take a couple of breaths. Or, I got this from a man on the internet, you can take your hand, push it into the crease here and just get a little distraction force, just means pushing away from you here, create a little bit more space, and you will be able to maybe jimmy just a couple more millimeters out of it, okay? Once you feel like you're settled there, you can put the hand behind for some more stability. Now, hopefully you've taken yourself to your end range internal rotation of the left hip, okay? So while I'm waffling on now, you're learning to breathe, relax, and allow, hopefully, that bum cheek to come down towards the floor, okay? And the direction here would be clockwise. As the bum sits, the tissues are stretching, okay? Now, we're going to do one long pails and rails, okay? You guys have all got a bit of experience here. We need some time under tension, okay? I will be talking about pails and rails for a little bit now. Directional force across a joint, all right? That's kind of what we're thinking about. So we always do pails first, open up a little bit more space, and then we want to work the regressive tissue, which is the hard bit, okay? So in this instance, when we are working our pails contraction, directional force, we will be thinking about a scale underneath our foot here, reading heavier and heavier and heavier. Now, pails and rails are both work on a sort of dial or volume control setting rather than a switch, okay? So you can actually keep that imagery in your mind. As I'm calling out percentages of effort, you can imagine dialing up tension, dialing up tension. But we need to be specific about where that tension is coming from. We're trying to work rotation of the hip, okay? So yes, we want to be feeling it inside here, where those two bones meet. But it helps if I think about my foot in particular reading heavier. Another little tip that we can think about is also that the direction that we want to be imagining, okay, when we do our pails contraction, is scooping forward, okay? In fact, I did that pretty poorly, but it would be like this, okay? Now, obviously, you're at your end range, and this is an isometric contraction, so there is no movement, okay? But the intention, and you can imagine that that's what's happening. You may even be able to see these rotations at the femur, okay? And if you can, that means you're in the good spot, all right? So that's enough waffle for me. We're going to do our first pales contraction, which means driving, using all this tissue on the underside, particularly focusing on the foot, down into the floor. Take a big breath, pack it in and down, and I want 20% force down into the floor now, okay? In this instance, you're thinking about the femur going anti-clockwise, okay? 40% pushing that foot down, scale reading heavier and heavier. Once you've got that imagery, now you can start thinking about the scoop. 60%. Up to 80% now. A little bit of shaking here. Remember what I said, if you are comfortable there, stay there. For those who've got a little bit more, your greatest and safest effort, driving that foot into the floor, is going to read out really heavy on those scales. Max effort now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails contraction. This foot is going to, you're going to imagine that you're lifting it up, or the scales are reading heavier or lighter and lighter and lighter. Hopefully that one is sinking down to the floor. Lots of work going in through here. Ooh-wee. Clockwise direction of the thigh. Hold, 2, 1, and relax. Try and let some of that go. See if you've got a little bit more space. You can see I moved my hand. That feedback there really focused my attention to where I wanted to be working, all right? When we go over to the other side, I think what I forgot to say there is that we will be switching from pales to rails pretty quickly, okay? The rails is still a ramp, so you don't need to go to 100%. So if you don't catch it straight away where you want it, by all means, stay there, keep ramping up, keep ramping up. You do the reverse of what we've just done, okay? Now we're going to move, isometric movement path to the other side, but don't waste an opportunity to get a little bit more work done. So, here's the demo for you. We're going to face forward. We're going to start by pushing our hands into the floor, opening up the back leg. Okay, so we've just got a little bit of a hip hinge here. Open up, open up. We can start imagining there's a magnet. These are the same size of a magnet and they're repelling each other away from each other. We keep opening up. Once that stops and the foot's flat, you can then start to pivot onto the ball of the left foot and bringing that foot or the heel forwards. That'll eke out a little bit more. Bum still off the floor. Once you've maxed out that, then you can start taking that left hand bum cheek down towards the floor. It's okay to keep your feet down. Magnet still between here, pushing them apart. And then we move into bear sit here. Take hands onto shins, okay? In this bear sit, okay, in an ideal world, you'd be nice and tall like a teddy bear, okay? But if you're struggling with that for now, okay, one of the things that you can do is take the knees away from it. That will enable you to get there. But as long as the intent is to try and be long, if you still can't do it, that's okay. Or since you're there now, you could, and we'll be using this later as a little trick, you could sit, and that might help you, okay? We're just going to do one pales and rails here as we transition through. So sitting nice and tall, we want to find stretch across tissues that then will start here and go out to the side, okay? Just realized I'm wearing my tight shorts. Chest up. Now, pales and rails in this direction, okay? This is less rotation and more stressing tissues that go across the joint. So the pales contractions, to stay nice and tall, take air in and imagine that you're trying to close your legs. Your legs will not move. It is an isometric, okay? You are providing resistance with your arms. The rails contraction is going to be imagining that you're pulling your knees down towards the floor. All of this stuff is working in the back, okay? You probably shouldn't have any space between your forearms and the knees as you pull down, because you should be at your end range here. So if you're not at your end range yet, start pushing those knees down and find where that is. That will bring on more stretch across here. One pales and rails, take a breath. Abs nice and tight. and start pushing up into the resistance created by your forearms. So try and close your knees together. 20, 40, that's percentages by the way. 60, keep pushing in, abs tight. 80, at any point you can stop and hold. Max effort now, pushing in, a little bit of shaking. 5, 4, 3, quick as a flash, and rails. Pull those knees down towards the floor. Don't let them leave your arms. Keep pulling. Your bum cheek should be really almost shaking at this point. Still nice and tall. Keep driving down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take a couple of breaths, turn that down and breathe. We will now go through to the other side. Same sequence on the other side. So from here, for me personally, it's going to be hands either side. If you're good, I say if you're good, if you have the capacity, all right, so nothing to do with being good or bad, all right, if you have the capacity, you can take your hands up here, all right. For me, I need a little bit more feedback, so hands on the floor. I'm going to start by driving this left leg down, okay, towards the floor, and then I can start closing the angle here, okay. I'm going to start by pivoting on my heel, all right, but once I get there, I'm still trying to drive this as far down to the floor as possible, okay. I then come in as much as I can, and move my other hand over, I then go onto the ball of my foot perhaps, then I can start lifting that bum cheek up. Still pushing this down into internal rotation, okay, with no pain, and then I follow through, and I end up back in 1990 in the reverse on the other side, okay. Same routine here, okay. You might find that this is the good side or your better side where you feel more comfortable, okay, but still the intentions are going to be the same. So kinetic stretching to start on the front leg. Kinetic stretching is pulling in and out of the mid ranges. Keep your focus in this instance in the left arm bum cheek and the capsule. Okay, and how do we find that stretch? Well, it's lift the chest, push the belly button forward, scoop the bum back, try and find that stretch in that bum cheek. From here, we imagine that this leg is glued to the floor. Hand out if you want a harder option. If you're happy to sit here, you can have both arms. Not for me, sir, okay? Just about get away with one of these. I will do it hands down. And take a big breath in. Pack air down. Imagine that I'm pulling, okay, with all this regressive tissue down towards the floor. We go for 5, 4, 3, abs tight, 2, 1. Push the leg down into the floor, drive out. Pull again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push down, drive back out. And we said keep this nice and packed, keep this back nice and straight. If you start to round, pull back. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 3, pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push that front leg down, drive out. Keep that tension. Pull again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push that front leg down. If you're finding it difficult like me with the mat, because I'm pulling hard, I can block with that hand at the front and against my heel. Last one, pulling in, using all that regressive tissue. Squash the tangerine between you and your legs. 2, 1, end range, and push, 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 push. That's your 5 reps. Okay. Now, as we rotate onto the back leg, it will feel different, okay? Here we go. So from here, I'm going to just spend a little bit of time just breathing into a decent amount of space. Okay. Remember we said we can get this distraction pause. Okay. Couple more deep breaths here. We talked about pales and rails contractions, okay? Pales making the scales read heavier underneath our foot. The idea also of scooping, okay? running through some ice cream, as I've been told, okay? And then your rails contraction is to try and make that scale read lighter and lighter and lighter, as if your foot is trying to come off the floor. In this instance, that's going to pull you into clockwise direction, and that bum should drop a little bit more towards the floor, okay? Here's our long pales contraction now. Take a big breath in, back it down, push your hands apart for some stability, and 20% pushing that foot down into the floor. Get the scale to read nice and high as we keep going, and 40%. And 60%. Keep pushing. If that's a good tension for you, stay there. For those who can. And 80% now. Good Lord. Give me your max safe effort driving into the floor. Imagine the scoop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails contraction the opposite way. Whoa. Foot's going to read heavier and heavier. Imagine that femur is now traveling in a anti-clockwise direction. All focused in here. Lighter on the scales. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, here we're going to just transition back all the way. So we're going to go through bear sit, we're not going to stay there. We're going to come all the way back and focus on that back leg again. So another transition. Open up the back leg. Oh, I can tell I've been practicing this today, I'm getting tired. Start to pivot on the ball of the foot. Magnet between these two legs. Take the heel from underneath. Open up through bear sit. Maybe have the hands either side. Get yourself comfortable. Start to bring the left leg towards the middle now. Max that out. Then we can start to favor the front. And through. Okay. Focusing on that back leg. We were in external rotation or internal rotation. I apologize. Okay. Now I want you to come away from that because I actually want to do something with that space. So we're going to rotate forwards. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to do a passive range hold. So if you can, I want you to then reach back and lift this foot off the floor. All right. How do you know if you've pulled it the right or as far as it needs to go, or that you're not cheating? Well, if I lift and I feel like I'm rolling really far forward, that movement is then coming from the pelvis and not the femur rotating in. Okay. What we will do is we'll lift up to your passive range. We will then call a hold, and you're going to try and hold it there as much as you can. And very slowly, you're going to start to release the passive support. And the passive support here is provided by that hand. Okay. We're just looking at 2 reps here. 2 reps, 2 good ones. Once you remove the hand, you hold for a few seconds, but before it collapses, we go back, catch, lifting back up, and then we go again, okay? So facing forward first, find a decent position. You may need to lean out to the side a little bit, but we're going to grab either the foot or the shin and lift up. Now for me, my left hip is already saying, this is going to be tough. That's about as far as I'm going to go. In an ideal world, as I move now my hand, I wouldn't see any dropping, okay? So from here, we're going to build up internal rotation, contraction, and try and hold our leg there using all that stuff in our hips. So ready, and regressive tissue, you're going to try and hold here. Slowly remove the passive support. 2, 1, and back up. And hold. 3, and slowly release. Relax. Now, if you're watching me there, you can see how much internal rotation I've got versus how much I can control, which is down here. So I'm doing about 6 inches, which is why I would consider there's a lot of work to be done there. All right. One more transition through. Okay. Open up. magnet between here, pivot onto the ball of the foot. Through we go. Bear sit. Hands either side if you can, or you can start like this. Start to move the right leg in towards the middle, max that out, and then we can start favoring to this position, okay? Here we go. Hands coming out towards the side, okay? If you need the kickstand here, that's also fine. If you're really struggling even to get into that position, okay, and lift, don't worry, you can just focus on making the hands like a statue here and just try and focus on lifting that up as much as you can, okay? If you did, you could also use a yoga strap to kind of pull you that high, all right? Reaching back, big breath, pull yourself into, you see how I threw my hip there, so I'm gonna just come back a little bit, that's about right for me. We're gonna try and hold our foot there using our muscles. Ready, and build it up. Slowly release the passive support. Hold. Before it hits the floor, catch it. Lifting up. Keep holding. Tighten up the muscles that we need to hold it right there. Slowly release the passive support. Keep driving. Keep driving those knees down into the floor. 3, 2, 1, and release. Okie dokie. Last time, half switch into bear sit, we open up. Pivot on the ball of the foot. Magnet between knees, repelling each other. Out, through, into bear sit. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just do some isometric movement pass into a straddle position. So for lots of us, it's going to be hands down in the front. In fact, all of us, I think, are going to do that because we're a bit tired now. So sitting nice and tall, we're going to drive one leg out. So drive the one leg out as far as you can, stabilize here, okay? And on the other side, I want to try and lift the foot off the floor and put it out straight. So here's what we're going to do. So nice and tall, take air in. Drive the right leg out to the side. Lift the left leg up. Straight as high as you can. Out to the side. Ooh. Bit of cramping in the quad there. And same thing. Drive this leg down and lift. And then out into straddle. Okay? If you are not comfortable in this position, anyway, there's no point us doing the shoulders because the focus now is going to be on the shoulders. The base position is not so important. So for those that feel that they're nice and tall like a teddy bear, fine. First thing I would say, you can try and sit on a block. If you have it, on a cushion, that might make things a little bit easier. Just for the sake of keeping these things going, if that's not comfortable, you can change your base position then again to either kneeling like this, or kneeling like this, okay? Because like I said, the main focus here is going to be shoulders, all right? Right. I'm going to sit on the block because, as you can see, I'm pretty tired. But that's okay, because my practice is not exactly the same as yours. So, what we're going to do from here to look at a couple of end range options. So I'm sat nice and tall, I'm driving my feet down into the floor. If you're kneeling, okay, you can stand up, close the rib cage, squeeze the bum. I'm going to bring your arms up into this shape, okay, from the front. Probably best from the front now. I call it a pea on a fork, all right? So you imagine this is 3 prongs on a fork and your head is the pea in the middle, okay? I want to do some hinges from here. So what we're going to work on is internal rotation on one side, external rotation on the other side, okay? So internal rotation is coming down towards the floor. The point at which you stop is where it catches or you try and throw forward. We're going to try and stay tall here, okay? External rotation is the opposite way, so we're going backwards. Things to watch out for here, flaring, okay, or favoring that way, or shortening at the bicep, okay. You're going to move through 1, and then back the other way, and 2. I like to imagine that I'm sort of wringing out a towel, and the bit in the middle is the bit across my shoulder blades, okay. The whole time in this base position, I want you to pull into the hips and drive down towards the floor, okay. We've got to be doing something when we're here, all right. So from here, we're going to pull air in, drive those legs down to the floor, arms up. Left hand down, right arm back. That's 1. Back through the middle, cross over at the same time, and then back the other way. Internal rotation on the right, external on the left. Back through. 3. Keep driving down with those hips. 4. Try to squeeze your bum. 5. Ribcage down. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Back to the middle. Down. Relax. Okay. If you need to make an adjustment here, or if you feel like you've had enough, and all you can think about is your hips, change base position. Go to kneeling. All right. Now, for those of you who've been hanging around for a while, we're just going to do and finish with the swimmer accumulator. All right. I've got enough space. Got enough space in my lounge. So from sat here, this is the full swimmer, and we'll be breaking it down into movements. Okay. So with your hands at the side of the head. Okay. Nice and tall. Retract. Elbows come back. Squeeze shoulder blades together hard. Into a Y shape. Then we rotate our thumbs down towards the floor, coming all the way back, and then hinging and trying to put our hands as high up into our back as possible. The return is clearly just the opposite, okay? We will do one full one, which I will coach you through quite slowly. We will come all the way back, rest in this position, and then we will start doing what I call the accumulator, which is breaking it down. So the second rep will be 1, back, 2, back, 3, rotate, back, and so on, okay? And then you will have had a lot of end range options in this position. If that puts the fear of God into you now, because you're in this straddle position, you don't feel like you're going to be able to stay upright for that long, and your hips are going to be screaming, change to the kneeling position. If not, here we go. One full rep, hands at the side of the head. Take a breath in. Retract. Okay, so pull those shoulder blades together. Get those elbows back as far as you can. Extend at the elbow into a Y shape. Palms facing forward. Rotate in this Y shape so that the thumbs come towards the floor. Nice and tall. Keep rotating as you start to extend back. Arms as high as you can. At the front of a Rolls Royce, keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating. Nice and high. Start to bend at the elbows, hinge, and put those arms or the wrists into, or as high into your low back as possible. Rest into the low back. Let the shoulders come forward. Retract the shoulders again. Chest tall. Squeeze those quads. Lift the arms out of the low back. Hold. Extend at the elbow. Lift up as high as you can, and as you do that, rotate. Up into that Y shape. Hands on head and forward. That's your full rep. One round of accumulator, then we're all done, guys. So from here, we are going to, nice work, Jim, well done. Open up, well done, John, here. Back. Retract hard, Y shape. If you're still in straddle, squeeze those quads. Hands back, forward. retract, Y shape. Keep Y shape as you rotate fully from the shoulder. Rotate back through Y, forward. Open, Y, rotate. This is the tricky one. Keep rotating as we reach back high. Come back. Forward. Open. Y, rotate. Reach back high. Stop. Hinge into the low back. We're not going to stop there. We're just going to come back. Extend. Rotate. Lift through Y. Hinge. Squeeze shoulder blades together and forward. Well done. From where you are right now, come into a comfortable position. So if that's even just seated on the floor, you may lie on the floor. You can stay in straddle if you want to. Okay. I'm going to come in here, cross-legged. That's pretty intense at the end. So all I want to do now is just find a comfortable position and just take 10 deep breaths through the nose, out through the mouth if you want. If you can keep it all in the nose, great. Okay, you can put head down, fully relaxed. It doesn't matter. You're just going to take a decent amount of air in. Okay, it doesn't have to be panic. You don't have to force anything. It's just trying to come back to a little bit of relaxation. I like to sort of imagine my heart literally slowing down, okay, as if I've got control over it. Five more breaths. Make sure you're comfortable. Last two. So hopefully that's kind of brought you back down a little bit. Always nice to finish a quite intense session at the end, just there. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. The main thing is that, well, the main thing is that you enjoy it. Anytime that you're teaching, it's a pleasure to teach. We'll be grateful for that. Pass, fail, if I have to go back, we just keep going, we keep getting better. But for tonight, at least, you are released. Okay, so thank you very much. God bless you. I'll stop the recording now. And then if you want to say anything, you can. And it won't be sent. Stop. You will receive an email. Okay.